Hello everybody, Terrence Pop here, from the Lair! Alright, let's see, I got some good stories here for you guys, but first I want to answer a question from, I got this 2 or 3 of the same question, they're worded a little differently, but, you know, people are wondering what's up with the Army stories, you know, and basically, they are very therapeutic. And there's a lot of comedy in these stories, especially because they really happen. And you know, I'm doing the comedy thing, but a lot of the pure red pill MGTOW, you know, sites they're being taken down left and right. And all of my earlier stuff, you know, has been impounded or demonetized. And so far with the Army stories, I'm starting to dig myself out of the hole a little bit with these. So. Hopefully I'm entertaining some of you guys out there, and some of you old guys out there watching these stories. You get that, you know, that home feeling that you get when people talk about shit the way it used to be. So I'm trying to do that here. And then for the young guys who are still in, you know, or young guys going in, you know, this is the way it was back in the day, you know, before they had computers and all kinds of crazy ass shit. So here we go. Today's story took place, Ranger Battalion. I had already come back from Ranger School. I had made it through PLDC, and I was promoted to E5. And during that time, there was a lot of turmoil going on. I don't know, the morale was bad. We were losing NCOs left and right. We had like 3 command climate surveys done, which is basically where they ask questions about the command environment to all of the people in the company. You know, it wasn't a good time. So people were spread really thin. Now, I don't know how it is now, but back in the day, you know, they make their training schedule up, and they usually do it in 36-month blocks. And you will do that training, you know, disregarding if you have enough NCOs there to do it or not, for the most part. You know, get it done. It's on the training schedule. That's the Bible. Boom. Because when you're in 2nd Range Battalion, 7 days a week, 355 days a year, 24/7, all you do is train and prepare for war, period. That's it. End of story. That's your job. So, you know, we're doing a demo range out there in Fort Lewis, you know, and it was a bigger range, so it was back a little bit away from, you know, range control. It was a good distance. And the entire range... what is it? I gotta shift around here. My fucking got pain in my back. So we're doing. It was like a 6-day long, you know, range every day. We're out there doing different stuff. And you know, Monday through Friday, we went through pretty much 85% of the MOI for the ranges that we're supposed to do. You know, we did the abortees, cratering charges, we did improvised Bangla torpedo, improvised anti-personnel, improvised hand grenades. Let's see, we fractured steel, you know, we made a shape charge that cut through armor plate, you know, blew a hole in the tank, you know, the usual shit. So we get done, you know, it's a Saturday and there's all this turmoil. So they basically say, hey, Pop, you, and there was like 2 or 3 other NCOs. They're like, hey, just finish out the range for the day. Call us around 4:30. We'll come out. We'll close out the range, and everything will be good. So we did that. Everything was fine. It wasn't a big deal because we still had MOI left to do. So Sunday we come out, and they open the range, and they do the same thing. I don't know. They were going to battalion. I don't know what they were fucking doing. You know, it's none of my business. You know, they gave me a mission. That's just the way it is. So it was me and like 3 or 4 other guys were basically running the show. I was basically the NCOIC, and there was another guy filling in for the OIC. The NCOIC stands for Non-Commissioned Officer in Charge. OIC stands for Officer in Charge, which doesn't really need to be an officer, but that's neither here nor there. So we go through the remaining of the MOI, and you know, I got like between 600 and 700 pounds of shit left over, and that's, you know, that's a mixture of TNT, C4, Semtex, det cord, timing fuse, blasting caps, you know, the usual shit. So this was back before cell phones. You know, we had a radio that talked to range control, but, you know, it was like 4 ranges down from us. They had, they used to have call boxes. They weren't on every range. So we drive down there, and, you know, I call the commander, and I'm like, hey, you know, this is Pop. I'm up here at the demo range. It's 11:30, and we finished the MOI, and I got between 600 and 700 pounds of ordnance left to turn in. And he's like, no, Sergeant Pop, you don't have anything left to turn in. And I'm like, you know, in my mind, I'm like, he's not here. How does he know? I'm like, sir, all due respect, I got 600 or 700. He's like, no, Pop, no, you don't have anything to turn in. So then I'm like, oh, yeah, I understand. Okay, not a problem, sir. We'll drive on. We go back to the range. People eat lunch, which is the MRE. And then you got all these E5s, a couple, like, I think there was one E6 there. We're standing around, and we're like, what are we gonna fucking do? You know, we're like, well, why don't we blow a huge crater? I'm like, okay. So these guys, like, they decide, okay, they're gonna run out to the fucking, the Tractor Supply fucking feed store, whatever, which is like 5 or 6 miles away. They bought a bunch of ammonium nitrate. They mixed up, you know, 2 things of Ampho in plastic 55-gallon garbage cans. We followed the recipes. We primed everything that was supposed to be done, and they stack it. They fill it in. And we still have an ass load of this shit left over. So, you know, we're like, okay, cool. Why don't we drag that fucking Cadillac and put it on top of the hole? And then all will be good. But, you know, they do that. And, of course, you know, we rigged the fucking Cadillac to basically disintegrate. You know, all the remaining frame will be shattered. And, I mean, all the rest of the explosives was used on this thing. And it's all daisy chained together with all the det cord and what have you. And it looked like this fucking frame of a fucking Cadillac on a dirt mound covered with spaghetti that was OD green. So they dual prime it. You know, we know the time, you know, we pull the fucking the detonators, and the fuse is burning. We got maybe two minutes or whatever. We both run back. I don't know, say, you know, minimum safe distance we assumed was like 400 meters, and we're in the wood line, so everyone's like, oh, we're all golden. So I'm standing there watching, and you know, we go over by 10 seconds. I'm like, holy fuck. Somebody's gonna have to walk out there. We might have to call EOD. I'm like, oh, fuck. And all of a sudden it detonates. It's like, boom. And I remember, like, the flash was so bright, it kind of, like, burned me a little bit. You know, you feel the heat. And you know that you've gone over blast saturation when people around you, like, squeak and fall down. There's a guy standing maybe, you know, 5 meters in front of me. Hat gets blown off, goes on his ass. You know, and I'm like, holy shit. And then the fucking trees all go, oof, and then pine cones are falling. I'm like, oh my God. We did not think it through. And then it starts to rain. The grapefruit size and apple size rocks. So it's utter pandemonium for about 3 minutes. People are like running around, I'm shocked nobody got killed. But people were running, hugging trees, because, you know, the rocks got to fall all the way through the fucking tree branches. Nobody got hit. Nobody got dinged. One rock went right through the front windshield of this pickup truck, GSA, we signed out. So no matter what happened, we still have to explain that, because you can't hide that. It is what it is. So we go out there to look at the smoking hole. And this isn't, you know, I don't know, we didn't think it through. I'm like, holy fuck, this hole is huge. It's like 18 feet fucking deep, and it's like 30 feet around. It is huge. And there isn't any dirt around it to like shovel back in and fill it up, because it's been thrown all over the high heavens. All right, so I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, oh my God. And it's like 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm like, oh my God, how are we going to turn? We got to turn in this range. There's a big fucking hole. There's going to be all kinds of questions. People are going to get fucking burned. I'm like, oh my God. And then all of the other guys who are the good idea fairies, what do? They give you the usual "you're fucked" hand and arm signals for, you know, the Ranger Battalion, which is basically this. Not a lick of help. So I just got back from PLDC. I go back down to that same callbacks, and I call my buddy who's a combat engineer. He went to PLDC with me, and I talked to him. And I'm just like, dude, you got to come out here. I need help. And I tell him I'm at the demo range. I don't remember the range number, and I don't even know if they're the same complexes because it's like 30 years ago. So he rolls out there. It took him like 25 minutes to get out there. He's got his pickup truck. He's got some tools and a fucking, you know, chainsaw in the back. And he walks up and he looks. He goes, yep, you're fucked. There's not even dirt here to bulldoze back in there. I mean, I can go back and get a bulldozer, but there's no fucking dirt to fill it in. So, we're fucked. You're fucked. And I'm like, oh my God. And then he looks over and he sees we've blown down all these trees for an Abertis. And he goes, you know what we can do? We'll get my chainsaw. We'll cut the tops off of those trees. We'll bury them along the edge. Okay, so, you know, if range control doesn't come out here and check it, because it's kind of back a little bit. If he doesn't walk the entire thing, and he signs you back in, you're golden. So we make sure we pick up all of our dunnage, all of the fucking firing pins, everything. We have 100% accountability, so there is no reason to go back up there and walk around for anything. So we wait until about 5:15. I call the battalion and I call the fucking range control, and I'm like, yeah, we got to clear this range. And I tell the CQ at the fucking bat, I'm like, yeah, we just called range control. You got to get to Sergeant such and such up here to clear the range. So I knew there wouldn't be any fucking around because I wanted them both to show up pretty much within the same time frame. So the NCOIC and the OIC get there roughly 2 or 3 minutes before range control shows up, so there's no questions there. You know, they ask about the dunnage. I have the flag, I have the fucking keys, I have the fucking range safety book, I have all of the dunnage, 100% accountability. You know, I tell the guy at range control the deal. He looks at me. Everybody's like, yeah, we're good to go. He walks up about 20 meters onto this berm, looks over the range, and comes back. And we know he wants to go home because he was supposed to leave at 5 o'clock. So he signs it right back in. As soon as he did that, we're golden. We're off the fucking hook. Damn. So I don't even think anything more about it. It like in one ear, out the other, gone. So this is about 4 weeks later. I get called down to see the commander, which is never a good thing. The officers, especially in the old army, never fucking talk to you because they don't fucking care for the most part. And this particular officer had a box and masking tape right in front of his desk. So when you walk into his office and he gives you and points to the box, you just stand at the box at attention, be prepared to have your ass chewed, or read the riot act, or the 3rd degree. There's only 3 things to get when you stand there. That's it. That's all you get. So he's like, oh, Sir Pop, you were involved in that demo range last month, right? And I'm like, what? Was I? I don't really remember. He goes, well, you told me that you were helping run it, because we're a few NCOs short, and there was some range control contacted us, and we have an engineer unit out there who contacted them that there's some bizarre things going on out in that range. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. He said, well, Sir Pop, that engineer unit was driving down the one trail and drove their 5-ton into a pond that's not on the map. And I'm like, oh, well, they signed that range in. I thought we were good to go. I don't know anything. Well, one of the NCOs that was, I think it was the supposedly to be the real NCOIC or the OIC, comes around the corner and says, oh yeah, we turned in that range. It was fine. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And the commander's like, listen, I just wanted to hear it. They cleared the range. There's no shenanigans. We're good. We're all drinking beer that night laughing about it. Because apparently they had to come with a fucking, recovery vehicle, drive out onto that range and pull this waterlogged 5-ton out of the fucking hole. Because there was like 3 guys in there and they're all like, oh my God. Nobody got killed or hurt, but it was still pretty funny. So it is what it is. I mean, you fuck around with shit, and especially young guys, 18 to 24, with an assload of testosterone and 700 fucking pounds of explosives to fuck around with. Shit's gonna happen. What can I say? All right, here's another one for you, and we'll call it a day at this. I call this one inspection antics. Now, you know, when we're in the garrison, back in the Rangers, which you really aren't in the garrison that much, so this happened quite a bit, usually every time you wind up in garrison. And we have all kinds of inspections. You know, you have a platoon sergeant inspection, you have SNAP inspections, IG inspections, health and welfares, what have you. Now, supposedly the health and welfares are usually supposed to be complete surprise inspections. But let's face it, nobody wants to do the paperwork or deal with the headache of finding shit in the barracks that you're not supposed to have. So we find out like 8 or 9 in the morning that afternoon we're going to have a health and welfare inspection. So everybody moves all their shit out into their cars or wherever they hide their shit. We can do a show on that, you know, which is the Ranger hiding holes or whatever you want to call it. So I decide, you know, I'm going to be an asshole. Yeah, excuse me, I have a cold. I'm going to fuck with the platoon sergeant, which is a big mistake. I decide I cut out some silhouettes of some pistols, you know, 3 pistols with some cardboard. Get on a chair and I open the light for the fluorescent lights, and I put the silhouettes up there and I shut the light. So when the light is on and you look at it, it looks like pistols are in the light. So the platoon sergeant comes in, and he was from England. He had this thick English accent. I'm not going to use his name. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. It's all well and good. And you know, all my roommates I had, they all were in on this. Everyone fucking knew. But you know, it is what it is. So I'm looking, you know, at parade, we're all standing at the parade rest, and I'm looking all nervous, and I'm looking up at this, you know, I'm doing the fucking looking at the ceiling, at the light up there. And the platoon sergeant looks up there and he sees the silhouettes. He's like, "Oh, motherfucker!" He goes, gets a chair, brings it over, gets on it, opens the light, and these silhouettes of the cardboard fall out. He gets down, he's like, oh, that's real funny, isn't it? Oh, I got your funny right here. Dumps all of our wall lockers, flips over our desks, flips over our bunks, just fucked the entire room up, right? Then just storms out. Now, all of my roommates, who were minutes before were laughing about this before it all happened, look at me and they're like, "Oh, it's real funny, Pop. It's real fucking funny." It took us like 10 minutes to clean. No, not that. It took us about an hour to totally clean it up. But nobody got in trouble. You know, it's all fucking, you know, it's all fun and games. It is what it is. Well, anyway, that's what I have for tonight. You guys have a good time.